Woke up this morning, coffee in hand, flipped on the screen, my favorite man. Crafty's on the TV, chipping that stone with obsidian and flint. He's in the zone. He's shaping the future with a hit and a crack, building the legends, ain't no turning back. With every sharp edge, he's teaching the way of the ancients who thrive back in the day. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. Underneath those layers of dust and grit, finds the magic every little bit. A sculptor of stories, buried in the ground. Each piece he uncovers wisdom abound. With every collision, the sparks start to fly. As the old world awakens, we question why. He's digging deeper where the shadows play, reviving old crafts that could fade away. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. And in this life, we're all just searching for our place in the world, a way to keep working. With the flick of his wrist, he brings forth the light. In every gray morning, he makes it feel right. So gather around, let the stories unfold. Crafty's our guide through the young and the old. With the sun rising high and the day moving on, Crafty carves dreams till the light is all gone. He's shaping the future one chip at a time. With every creation, he's keeping the rhyme. From the heartland of Texas to the mountains of green, the legacy lives on through the stonework unseen. With every perspective, he's showing the way. Crafty keeps going, come whatever may. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. So here's to the mornings with coffee in hand and Crafty on the screen, the true heart of the land. With a hit and a crack, he's paving the way through stone and through story. He inspires the day.
Hello, I'm just checking my emails. Lots of emails and stuff for this auction. Okay, I think I've got them all. Let me check to see what we got for audio. Let's see now. I think the audio is good. I'm not seeing any complaints. Let me just check here. Checking with my other phone. Let me see. Yeah, there's a lot of things to check on the auction. Hold on. That's why I started late, because I'm checking the auction stuff. Let me see what we got here. Difficult to decide some items, and then there's a lot of emails. Okay. Yeah. Last minute bidding is always kind of difficult for me to figure out. I've got to refresh the page many times and then double check and triple check. Okay, so oops, wrong button. I need to check the audio on the live stream. See what we're doing. I don't get notifications of my own live stream, so hold on a second. get notifications of my own live stream, so hold on a second. Did I get a super chat? I think I had a super chat. So the audio sounds good. Let me just go back to the format where I can actually see stuff. I have to go back to my history in order to enter the live stream from my history, and then I can see the chat. Okay, so who do we have in the house? Alan Cole's the first one. Talkenstein, hey Bill. JF Baird is here, testing 1, 2. Mr. Jim is here. Tommy Taylor, Stoneface, Graylin Landry, good evening. Lance McIlwain is here. What's up, Crafty? I just got done napping Tallahatta. Made a killer Abbey point with 4-way beveling. Nice. 4-way beveling. Interesting. Jesse Yaki Napper, hello, hello. Haven't been on last couple of days, was helping the folks out. No worries. Mr. Jim is here. Did I already say that? Yeah, I did. Let me see. Stoneface. Yep. Jesse Yaki Napper, $10 super chat. Hello, Patrick Stone Fund. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mac Bales is here. Tommy Taylor. Noah Merritt. John Jones. Scott Goldsberry. Hey. Kiefers is here. Hello, he says, hello, Patrick and my friends. It's been a while. Yes, it has. Who else? Noah Merritt says, I'm sad to say I haven't been napping. Life is changing fast. I did make my first point out of glass today while cleaning up trash at the lake, like I do. It was the first time I've napped this year. Oh, dang. No, that's a long time. Jermaine is here. Hey. Justin Korn. Hey, how's it going? Ross Wellman. Mike Mason. Andrew Humphrey. Hey. Lots of guys are here today. Barnett 25 says hello. Bluegrass Relics says good evening. Okay, awesome. So what are we doing tonight? Well, tonight I do basically whatever I want on Monday nights. Yeah. Modern tools, and I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to do whatever I want. I got to see what I got in this bin. I shipped some stuff over from New Mexico to myself. Okay, so this is some kind of chalcedony from New Mexico. So I'm not going to nap that. It needs heat. What else do I got? The whole crew's in the house, says Ross Wellman. Oh, yes. Andrew Humphrey is here. We're in for school. Yeah. This is some of that local, what I'm calling Diablo dacite from New Mexico, near Taos, New Mexico. It is a real dacite. It looks like fine-grained basalt, but it's not. It is what I'm calling Diablo dacite. It's not easy to nap, but there's tons of it, and lots of artifacts are made from it in that area. So I brought some home, and there's guys that picked up a lot of it. So it's free for the taking. It's just on the side of the road. It's just sitting there. Yeah, in the public area, just for anyone to snatch up. But of course, it doesn't nap that well. That's why it's still there. And this, I don't know what that is. It's obsidian, yeah, but I don't know where it's from. They have similar obsidian to that in near Taos. It's got this weird bubbly looking stuff going on with the obsidian near Taos. I'll be talking about Taos, New Mexico a lot because I went there just a week ago. Lots of good stuff. I have videos showing what it looked like. There's another piece of that Diablo dacite. Alright, so what am I going to do? I'm going to pick something I like. This is Georgia Jasper. Yeah, a friend of mine, Ben, gave this to me. I broke it in half because I didn't want to nap the whole thing. It was a lot longer. But maybe I'll do this one. Wednesday is my slab night, but I can do a slab tonight too. This is kind of a slab. It's cut on one side only. The other side is just a flake. The flake side. I've also got other slabs that Ben gave me, my friend Ben. Some of this is black gold. He calls it black gold. I call it black butter. Yeah, black butter. So I might do this on the slab night, Wednesday. This was a whole piece, but I'm not going to nap this whole gigantic piece. So I broke it. Yeah. I broke it down to reasonable sizes. But yeah, he goes to California and picks up all these things, or Oregon. He goes to Oregon and picks up these big, huge pieces of obsidian and then cuts them. Hope he doesn't mind me knocking that down to size. What else do I got? I can nap some of this. Is it rock to point tonight? Maybe it's rock to point instead of anything I want. I want it to be anything I want, but it might be rock to point. And I don't have any whole rocks except this one. Okay, so we'll nap this one. Does it show up on this background? I changed the background to better see what I'm doing, but if I'm going to be doing a rock to point with black, it might not show up. It's just my luck. Let's see. Yeah, we might be able to do that. Let me see. I could put a black background in. I brought a black towel. Yeah. Hold on a second. I did buy a black towel that I could use. No, it's not going to show up in black. I don't know what I'm thinking. All right, so that's it. We're going to do that. Right? Obsidian. Yes. I'm going to turn the fan on because it's getting too hot. And the phone overheats. Okay? All right. Let's see. Should I put out the notice that everything is obsidian and I'm making spears? Should I put it out? I should. I shall. And I will. Yeah. Cover up Mr. Piggles. Of course, there's light in the way. Not natural tools. I don't want to cover up Mr. Piggles. I'm making spears and everything is obsidian. And you're in luck because we actually have one true statement there. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes that'll be like 3 false statements. Are you making fishing poles? Asks Jay. Wilderness Quest Outdoors is in the house. Yes, we are making fishing poles. Let's see. We're going to do custom fishing poles. Yeah, custom fishing poles. In addition to everything else. I'm going to cover up Mr. Pickles because we got glare. Yeah. Anything else we're going to make tonight? Yeah, okay. So here we go. We are ready. I am ready. If you're ready. Get ready to make a mess. An obsidian mess is always the best mess. Oh yes. Oh yes, it's the best mess. Let's start knocking into this piece with the copper bopper. Oh, it's black gold. Yeah. See that? It looks like a moon rock with all these little dimples in it. But it looks like good stuff. Try to preserve the maximum amount. Let's see. What is the size that I'm going to start with? Gotta grab my gaiters. Yeah, they don't work anymore. I gotta fix the Velcro. Both of the Velcros have failed on me. 5.5, barely 5.5. I would say 5 inches would be safe because it's, I gotta remove a lot from this side just to get that cortex off. So 5 inches, 5.5. Okay, you've seen it here, folks. Let's see how much I can preserve of this. I'm already gonna lose some of the width. I mean, some of the length. Wherever did Marty go? I don't know. Or Mary. Where did Mary go? She's probably still hanging around, just lurking and stuff. Yeah. A lot of people just end up lurking in the shadows, which is perfectly okay. Yeah. That's what I do when I go on a live stream. I do a lot of lurking. I'll just peek in on Sal's live streams and stuff, or somebody else's live streams. I'll go over to Marty's, look at some of his videos. I'll just sneak in a like. I'll put a like on their videos. Sneak in and out. I'm a stealth watcher. That strike was not good at all. But it's the width, so it doesn't matter too much. That striking area was too perfect anyway. Yeah. Let's see here. What am I going to do? That's a nice one. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do nice flakes only. Right? Right. Yes, yes. That's where we need. Need to get rid of that weirdness that I created. Let's see what else. Hey, Marty Wybe's here. Everyone is having a good evening so far. Hey, Eric's Rocks is in the house. Eric, how's it going? Eric is a rock seller, and I bought stuff from him that was really good. I must say, it was really good. I must say, I got to get some more of that amoeba shirt. Oh yes, I'll see you in Brady probably. And if you're not in Brady, I'll see you somewhere. Maybe I'll go to Coshocton. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll go to Letchworth too. You might be at Letchworth. Anyways, yeah. Eric's Rocks. Let me see, let's see. Logical Apostate, looking for rocks, beginner level. Yeah. Eric has both. Eric has all kinds of rocks for all kinds of people. Advanced, intermediate, and beginner. Oh yes. Let them know where they can find you, Eric. I think you're on Facebook. I'm not sure you can give out emails. I don't know if it'll let you. Let's see. Oh, you'll be at both Letchworth and Coshocton. Okay. Very good. I might see you at Letchworth because Bushy's going to be there, my buddy. He's going to be at Letchworth. So I might go. Although these trips cost me a fortune. And I don't even stay at hotels. If I were staying at hotels, it would be terrible. But see, the Letchworth one is a day trip for me. I can be there, nap, and come back home on the same day. Yeah. It's only 7 hours away from me, so I can do that in a day. I can spend a couple of days too. That doesn't cost me much. Just sleep in my car. Let's see. How about Don? Don, I don't know. He usually goes to the Brady Knapping. I don't think he's going to Letchworth or Coshocton, but he might go to Coshocton. I'm not sure. Last time I saw him, we were in Tennessee. Yep. This past May, we were in Tennessee, and we saw you there. Yep. Eric's Rocks travels everywhere. Yep. Let's see. Beautiful. I'm Aztec Descent, and I love watching obsidian items. Cool. Very good. Excuse the sign there. That's for the 10-year-olds that end up in the chat. Yeah. So what do we do next? Well, we got to break it down with indirect percussion now. We're at the stage where we just did the easy part. We got a little biface going. Now we got to do the hard part. Clean up a little bit. Take a breather. Take a breather and clean up a little bit. Yeah, so I got to be able to crunch some of that under my feet. Yeah, or else we're not napping right. I got to put the flakes under my feet so I can crunch them while I'm napping. Yeah. All right, so it's copper time. I can use copper on my Rock the Points. My Rock the Point videos. Let's see. Oh yes, and this isn't quite black butter, but it's dark gray butter. Some nice obsidian. I like it. It's opaque obsidian. It's a glossy type of opaque obsidian. It's not grainy and dull. Although I don't mind the grainy and dull stuff too much. It's still pretty good. This is best. I think this is best. Although people have trouble with it. It's a lot like mahogany obsidian in the way it naps, and it's very snap and half-ish. Right, but I like it anyway. It responds very well when it doesn't break in half. Okay. Yeah, the good stuff. Jim Main says good stuff. Hey Jim, how's it going? I think I saw you in. You're one of the first ones here. Yeah. Oh yes. See those? Such good flakes and such good terminations. Now when it starts to get thin, that's when it starts to get serious. We're not quite thin yet. If I make a mistake when it's really thin, it gets serious. Sometimes all I can do is minimize the mistakes. Because it's so snap and half-ish, I can't keep thinning it down. I've got to stop the thinning relatively early compared to some other materials. And yeah, you'll get to the stage or to the level where you're stopping yourself from thinning further. Yeah. Some guys will say, "Yeah, I wish I could even thin it all. I don't even think about maybe someday I'm gonna have to stop the thinning. It's just ridiculous." Yeah, you'll have to stop the thinning. Too much thinning. Just slow down. Slow way down. It's gonna feel weird, but you gotta do it. All right. Pardon me while I try to figure out how am I gonna take out some of this wonky stuff. See, it's starting to dive already right there. No, that didn't do it. See, I got a little crunchy spot. And that's not crunchy, it's just a weird fracture. Luckily, it's not crunchy, but it's just a weird fracture that stops anything from traveling. How do you get rid of that stuff? Picking at it slowly. Whenever it's a difficult thing, the best strategy is to pick at it slowly, if you can. If you can't, then you've got to prepare an area on the edge ahead of time. Then you do have to prepare an area and not be so opportunistic. Right now I'm still highly opportunistic. Yeah, there it is. 3 nice flakes. Right? Right. The law of averages catches up, but look at that. The law of averages catches up, but I can get away with stuff. Oh, yes. See how long that flake is? It's ridiculous. It's going to be too easy for us. We can't handle this easy stuff. It's jarring. Yeah. Let's see. Logical Apostate says he's not going to a nap-in ever. I see. The allergy is strong in that one. Yeah, it's strong in you. Dawkinstein says he loves nap-ins. Yeah. Nap-ins like you too. Mr. Jim says, I've heard nap-ins are a great place for beginners. You heard that? Where'd you hear that? Where did you hear that? Nonsense. Nonsense. Hogwash. Yeah. Dribble. I remember when I was first on the internet, people were saying the word dribble. And drivel with a V and dribble with a B. They were saying both, but I guess they were saying mostly drivel with a V. I remember that. They don't say that much anymore. And we don't know what country they were from. Well, we still don't. The internet's still pretty anonymous. We don't know where these people come from because they don't use their local slangs many times, so we can't figure out where they're from. The language has become generic. Yeah. I used to be able to tell who was from New England by the use of the word wicked all the time. But now, nope, you can't. Nobody uses the word wicked up here anymore. That's wicked cool. That's wicked smart. Wicked fast. They don't use that, especially on the internet. It gives away your identity. It's so funny. People don't reveal their identities. So they learn to speak differently too. Speak and write generic internet speech. Stoneface says he hates crowds too, but it's different at a nap-in. Everyone is basically of the same mindset. Yeah, when you're at a nap-in, the crowd is a lot different, yeah. It's not a carnival atmosphere. Unless everyone's going to bed and the hardcore guys stay up. Then there's a little bit of a carnival atmosphere after the normies go to bed. Yeah. Especially if there's camping. There's not always camping at a nap-in. But when there is. Yeah, and you got to laugh that way too. As soon as 11 o'clock hits at night, 11 p.m. at night. Yeah, nose to the grindstone at nap-ins for sure. That's the way I normally attend a nap-in. I put my nose to the grindstone. People are requesting stuff constantly. As soon as they find out who I am. Let's see if the focus will work on this live stream. Hold on a second. Wait. I'm going to mess around with the focus. I have a feeling that these live streams don't allow the camera functions to work properly. Yep, it won't lock. The focus will not lock on a live stream, so I can't lock it in place to make sure it's focused when I'm up close. It was bugging me the other day because it was getting out of focus as I was watching my own live stream. When I was reviewing my live stream the next day, it kept going in and out of focus, and I'm saying I gotta be able to lock that focus, but it won't do it on a live stream. Maybe it's the software I'm using Prism or whatever the heck that is. Stupid stuff. It's probably stupid to use that because it won't allow me to lock the focus in. So what am I doing now? I'm advancing to the next stage. Okay, I did the preliminary thinning. Now I got to do final thinning. So I'm advancing into the final thinning without telling you guys. Let's take a break and I'll check the chat for questions. Hold on. Why do I use my right hand? Because I can pick up the flakes a lot more carefully with my right hand. Yeah. If I start grabbing with my left, I poke myself through the glove and everything. Yeah. My left hand is highly uncoordinated. If I ever lose my function to my right hand and try to nap with my left, it'll take me another 10 years to figure that out. At least. I've tried napping with my left a little bit. It's ridiculous. Ridiculously difficult to learn to nap with the other hand. Yeah. Alright, so what are we doing in the chat? Anything? Can I see a fishing pole, please? Somebody gonna tell him. Tell him. I'm not gonna tell him. Jared asked me, have you ever had one almost done and one bad move and it shatters? Have I ever had that? It's like asking me if I've ever had a stomach ache. Holy moly. Of course. Many have shattered. I have made hundreds of points, maybe even thousands. I've had all kinds of shatterings. Especially when they're almost done. You know why, right? Because when you get further along and they're almost done, they get weaker and weaker and weaker, and it's no wonder they shatter. Let me see. Let's see. Your laughter says, can we see the alien worm rock? Oh, the alien worm rock. Where is it? I'm going to have to go outside and get it. I know where it is. Do you really want to see it? If you really want to see it, I'll go get it. Jared says, sorry, I'm just asking. No worries. You don't need to be sorry. Everybody here is supposed to have a thick skin and not apologize. You don't need to apologize to me. Let's see. I went to a Knapping and the competition challenge was to nap a point with your non-dominant hand. No, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I don't enter those contests. But it would be funny to do it, I suppose. Maybe I'll watch it first and then I'll do it. Let's see. So do you really want to see the alien worm rock? KG fan says, what state are you from? Well, I'm living in Vermont, but I was living in Texas for 35 years. I grew up in New Hampshire. But I have family from Mexico. I got family all over the place. I don't know what my accent is. I can do many accents, actually. When I was in high school, we studied French and Spanish. And my mom, growing up, spoke fluent Spanish. And my ex-wife speaks fluent Spanish. What is alien worm rock? I need to go get it so I can show you what the alien worm rock is. Can I do a French accent? I can do French from France. A little bit. It's not good. Let's see. I have to get into the mood. Somebody's from Turkey. Yeah, alien worm rock, please. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it. Hold on a second. I'll be back in a second. Hold on. I gotta find my flashlight. Okay, here we go. We discovered this the other day. Not long ago. This wasn't like a long time ago. We discovered the alien worm rock. See that? So if you find this, you're going to have alien worms in it. Yeah, and I tried to nap around it, okay? So if you find rock like this with alien worms, it's going to look exactly like this. It's probably in your backyard. Yeah. Really? Is it in my backyard? It's a joke, okay? You see that? Those are real. They're petrified. They're made of stone. I would try to pick them out, but I don't want to ruin it. See that? Alien brainworms. See the brain matter? It's petrified brain matter with alien worms. Yeah. There's dinosaur brains in there. See that? It's a dinosaur brain. There it is. I don't want to put it in line of fire. Hold on. Okay. See it? All right. Cool. What did I do with my... This is what I'm working on right now, okay? And it is obsidian, just in case you don't know. The next stage is to get it thinner than this. Probably catch a rockfish with that. You're funny. Yeah, the aliens are going to be mad at me for messing with their worm rocks. Yeah, I don't care. I got so many things mad at me that's not even funny. It's not even funny. Usually I think it's funny. when somebody's mad at me. Anyways, what are we going to do? We're going to nap some obsidian. We're going to try to make something. Right? Yeah, the alien rock was sick. It makes me feel sick too. And I bet you there's like 5 people every minute. What is he talking about? Bro, what is it? Bro, hello? It's this stuff. Okay? And remember, if you find a rock that looks like this, it's going to have some in it. Right? Or no? No? Oh well. I guess I got the 1 out of a billion. Okay? Alright. I need to put my other glove on because I'm going to cut myself. Your laughter says I'd pay a good amount for that. You would, huh? But then I wouldn't have all these people watching my videos if I give it up. And what is a good amount? Send me an email. I don't want that hanging around, actually. I might sell it to you. Yeah. I should put that in the auction. Okay, I'll put it in the auction next time. Let me write that down. Auction bait. This is auction bait. Maybe people will watch my auction if they see this. Where's my markers? I cleaned up today. Yes, I did. I shouldn't write on this because then I won't be able to remove the ink. I got my notepad with a bunch of stuff. What did I forget? I bet you I forgot stuff that's not written on here. Make 4 chests for auction. I already did that. Okay, let's put the worm rock in the auction. Put the worm rock in auction. That's my sloppy writing when I don't want to write clearly. Yeah. So sorry. Okay, so get back to our regularly scheduled boring program. Highly boring. Yeah, we don't want any comments about that kind of stuff. Where's my moderator? We're going to put you in a timeout. Kale Porter. We're going to put you in a timeout. And I'm going to like it. I like it when people get put in timeout. Yeah, you ruined it for yourself by suggesting you get put in the auction. Now you got to compete with everybody else. Yep. Let's see. What in Duckenstein was it in the brisket? What are you talking about? So that's a no. Yeah, we don't talk about butt stuff on this channel. Okay? All right. It's time for your bedtime anyway. All right. Here we go. We're doing the thinning of the thin piece. The hardest thing in all of Flintknapping. You thought this was inclusive. What gave you that idea that this is inclusive? Why did you think that? You just jumped to a conclusion. Isn't that strange? People on the internet jump to conclusions? Dang. That's news to me. Really? That's brand news? That's news to you? Bro, come on. No, I'm kidding. I am kidding. People jump to conclusions on the internet all the time. That's why they conceal their identity. so they can act stupid. All right. Yep. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see. How much for this piece? You gotta wait for the auction. I have an auction every Monday. Yeah. Every Monday. You just missed it. We had one. Today's Monday. You missed it. Where you been? I've been doing auctions for like years now. I can say it's been years, more than 1 year, doing auctions every Monday. I think we only missed like 1 auction. Let's see, have I been napping any Slavs lately? No, I have not napped any Slavs lately. There's no Slavic rock around here. I don't think. We got something similar to Slavic rock. Yeah, and not the music type. Let's see. So this gets tricky as it gets thinner because the edge doesn't want to do it. See that? I knew it was going to try to do that. That's a special flake though, right? That's a bending flake. Some people go nuts and crazy over these. They go, wait a second, this is a special technology. That's a technology right there. It's called bending flake. Yeah, because it does that. See that? It does that and does that. It's special. It's a technology. No, it's not special and it's not a technology. It's a mistake. It's like a reverse overshot. It's called a ring crack. And it's not good. And it's not a technology. It's a mistake. Okay? But try to tell that to someone who's fixated on trying to discover hidden knowledge and hidden technologies within Flintknapping. People are just dying to figure out stuff that doesn't need to be figured out. And they'll come up with all kinds of weird stuff. I had a feeling I was going to get a ring crack right there because I wanted a big flake. So the edge is delicate, and when the edge is too delicate, it'll produce a ring crack. Yes, it will. With any kind of tool. Metal, stone, wood, antler. Your mom's high heels. Anything. Yeah, how do I know? I don't know. Yeah, alien ring shot technology. Yeah, that's what it is. That one didn't do it. That one did not produce a ring crack, luckily. And it gave me that flake I needed. All right. And maybe I took too much. I probably took too much. That's the way it goes, though, with obsidian. It's easy to remove too much. Yes, it is. Rim shot? No, it's not a rim shot. It's a ring crack. Those ring cracks, you can make them into tools. You can make anything into tools. That's a cop out. Yep. Wait, dude, wait, bro. Certain flakes, they can be made into tools. Yeah. Any kind of flake can be made into some kind of tool. That's a no-brainer. Right, Mike? I'm not picking on you, by the way. I think that was a good opportunity for me to present a learning opportunity. Let's see. Does it mean? What are you talking about in the chat? I don't know. I'm trying to pay attention to the napping and the chat. It's getting difficult, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So hold on. I'm going to have to zone out here, probably. Yeah, so I can make this nice and smooth. Oh, it's not going to do it. See that? That last flake, as it gets thinner, it doesn't want to do it. See that? And I can't lock the focus in. I got to wait until it takes its sweet time to focus in on this stuff. Now what am I going to do? I don't know. Flake from the base? Probably, but then it's going to make it curved. I don't know. I need to get that out of the middle because the islands tend to grow. Yeah. Islands in Flintknapping tend to get bigger, not smaller. So I got to nip it in the bud, so to speak. Let's see here. Is this Georgetown? Hey, Andrew Humphrey says, is this Georgetown? It can't be obsidian. Everything is obsidian. Everything. Georgetown obsidian. All kinds of chert obsidian. All kinds of flint obsidian. Everything is obsidian. Agate obsidian. You ever heard of agate obsidian? No? Man. Do they act that way at Knappings? You don't even know. You don't know how they act because you've never been. All these people have never been to Knappings. I don't act this way at Knappings. The way I act on video is unique to my videos. When you see me at a Knapping, I'm not impressive or funny at all. Nope. I'm usually nose to the grindstone and not talk too much. Yeah. Although everyone tries to talk to me. Andrew says, this looks like moon rock. Yes, it does. You guessed it. You win the prize because that's what it was. This is the outside of it. See that? It looks like it has been a meteorite that had landed on the lunar surface. Yeah. Oh, it almost got it. It tried to do it. See that? And it tried to do it. It was... I'll give it... I'll cut it some slack. Look at that. It tried to do it. It was a good effort. Oh, yes. I was going to say, if it didn't do it, I wasn't going to like it. But look how well it did. It tried. Let's see if we can pick that out. No. I'm going to have to blast that away with another flakes from somewhere. Attack that island again. I almost got it. Just make it more narrow, you might say. Yeah, no kidding. No duh. Duh. Okay. Make it more narrow so the flakes can travel to the center more easily. Yeah, I know. Or I can just leave it in there and it'll bug people and I'll like it. I will laugh because it will cause people to throw up. That little goober in the middle right there. Mason says hi. Let's see, who else we got in here? Andrew Humphrey says I'm good at guessing, getting good at guessing. I can't see the chat very well. Did I check? I didn't check the chat before I dived into this, did I? Hold on a second. I'm going to try to get this out. Then, if I remember, I will check the chat. Oh, look at that. Just look at it. Did it do it? It's got some weirdness, but I think it did it. Yeah, we're home free. It'll be easier now to run another flake through there because it's pretty smooth now. If I need to, I can run a flake there without worrying about it stopping because of a step fracture or an island. An island is something that has step fractures in more than 2 areas. It's got like 3 areas where there are step fractures around the central point. Central point on the point. Okay, so we're going to put this aside and check the chat. I'm going to see if there's any questions other than the weird stuff that's already come up. Alright, hold on a second. Yeah, Stoneface says it did it. It did. Alright, let's see. I gotta clear my responses there. No, it's not supposed to be making noise. I got the sounds turned off. Lance says, when I go to a nap-in, I have only one mission: to stay low, queue, and buy as much rock as I can and to haul back home. There you go. Who says it impressive? BBO3814 says impressive. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I can't say thank you using your name because you look like you're incognito. Let me see. Mark Ori says, after watching hundreds of your videos, I napped Oregon Obsidian one time and gave up. I'm still learning. Welcome. Yeah. There's a lot of new guys asking questions. What is this, shopping? Someone asked me if I'm shopping. I'm not shopping. I could put it there. You want me to put it on the sign? Let's see. I'll do that. Since that was a question that should be answered, yes, I'm shopping. I'm shopping, yes. And while I'm at it, I think I'm doing laundry too. What do we got here? We all go through the pain to get good, says Andrew Humphrey. Yes, we do. Let's see here. Jesse says, it was sure nice to see some of Patrick's arrows up close and personal, seeing you make for years, but a treat in real life. I'm glad you liked it. You saw those arrows in Brady, I guess. Yeah. Fans Bros says hi. Ezekiel, how much are spears and how much for fishing poles? Can we see an example of both? Somebody better tell them. I'm not going to tell them. I am not. Hey, somebody speaking Spanish. Saludos desde España. I see you. I see you, Bernardo. Yeah. I see you. Can you try to invent a new weapon with that tip? No. I will not invent new weapons. Well, maybe. Let's see. Marty says, okay, bedtime for me, guys. Yeah, he's on a different time schedule. He's on a different time zone. Dig sheet, how much for a boot knife? More than what you can afford, probably. Besides, you don't want to put obsidian in your boot. Who wants to put obsidian in the boot? Gotta be nuts. Make a boot knife with the tip. No. I would not put rocks or obsidians in my boot. Okay, Jesse said, I saw your arrows at the house in the Taos in Pueblo. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay. You got a chance? Did you get a chance to see them, examine them closely? Let's see. How much do I sell them for? You got to check out my auctions to see how much I sell stuff for. I have an auction every Monday. And by coincidence, today is Monday. So just go back in my videos and look at my auction today. I had an auction today. It's in the video. I do a weird thing on my channel. I sell stuff. Somebody tell Ezekiel what this sign is. I'm not going to tell him. All right. I don't see any questions related to Flintknapping, or I don't see very many of them. I slept a lot today. Before I started working, I slept late. I slept till around noon today, so I'm not tired yet. Usually I'm really tired by the time the live stream comes around, but tonight's not too bad. Let me see. What's your favorite rock to be curved? I don't know what that means. My favorite rock is the rock that does not break. That's my favorite. Yeah, lots of new people tonight. What else we got? Stoneface says, I wear leggings to keep the obsidian out of my shoes. That's a good idea. Jesse says, we were oohing and awing. I see. Christian Molinari says, hi. Ace Maduro, is that one of the custom fishing poles lying on the side of the mat? Yeah, custom fishing pole. How much are your arrowheads or spears? My name is Anthony Fernandez. Just check out the auctions. I sell arrowheads, and you can use some of them as spearheads. They range between like $25 and $95, depending on how good they are. Yeah, it varies. Let's see. I guess that's it. No Flintknapping related questions. So we're going to go back to Flintknapping. Mike Mason says, I wear obsidian to keep the shoes distance from my feet. There you go. Do you know of a place I can need to sell my collection? Is your collection a real collection? Because you just need to go to Google and type in artifact show near me. Artifact show near me. And bring your collection to an artifact show. And if they're real, you'll be in business. If they're fake or they're modern, don't go to an artifact show. But if you need to sell your collection, go to an artifact show. Type in Google. Okay, thanks. Yep, there you go. Artifact show near me. You might have to drive a few hours, but there are many this summer. You'll probably find one that's next week, somewhere in the country. Let's see. Yeah, there are authenticators at artifact shows if you want to pay money. You'll get a lot of opinions though too for free, but they're just opinions. And sometimes you got to be careful when you pay for authentication, because there are scams out there. So I would not recommend paying anybody until you get more experience. Mark says, I liked when you walked around your yard. Well, thanks. I like that too. I'm not going to do it every day though. I'm not going to show my yard every day. Although, you know what? I could probably film my progress and then make an edited video where you can see the different stages that I'm working on in my yard. Maybe it'll be a 1 million view video that has nothing to do with Flintknapping. Yeah, Flintknapping is a small, very niche community, so I bet you anything else would be viewed quite a bit. What else? Okay, let's go to this point again and see what we can do. There's some thick spots like right here. This side is already pretty flat, but this side is more wonky. So there's a, come on, focus. There's a fat spot here and a fat spot there. Let's clear that out if we can. It's obsidian, so it should work. Yeah, it's much easier to run flakes on this stuff than other things. It's also much easier to mess up, but at least the flakes will run. What's worse is if it messes up and the flakes don't run. At least it does something when you hit the edge on this stuff. At least it does something. Yeah. This is the file I got at Harbor Freight. I need to go back down there again. I'm already running low on files again. I go through files once a month. A pack of files once a month. Easy. You guys are making me nap every day. What's up with that? What's up with that? Between YouTube and you guys, I get a nap every day. What's up with that? YouTube wants me to nap every day. My subscribers want me to nap every day. My stash of rocks wants me to nap every day because it's tired of sitting there. I got a stash of rocks that's been growing because I'm afraid I'm not going to have enough rocks. And no, I'm not going to show them yet because I still need to organize it. I'll just point to different stuff. That's a mix of stuff in that bucket. That's a mix of stuff in that bucket. That's a mix of stuff in that bucket. Oh yeah, and that bucket over there, that's a mix of stuff. So what? It's not going to be exciting to do that. Yeah. So I got to unmix everything. Why is it all mixed? Because it saves space that way. I don't have to spread it out. But I've got room now to spread it out. Everything is mine now. The space is mine. I can do what I want. Yeah. I'm not confined anymore. I can organize the way I want to. Yep. I used to only have a little bit of space to put my stuff. Yeah. But now I got lots of space. So what do? I don't do it yet. I keep delaying it. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, good. I'm afraid these flakes are going to dive, so I got to back off a little bit. But I think we're thinning it. Yes. Okay. Come on. Don't move. That's better. That's better. Yeah. Good. Kind of good. I always start out with this kind of shape because I can make just about anything with this shape. The only problem with this shape is that I sometimes don't want to knock down the sides because I spent so much time keeping the width. But some points require more narrowness. It just sometimes breaks my heart to make it, more narrow because I spent a lot of time doing the opposite. Yeah. Oh, come on. You want to be thin. Obsidian doesn't really want to be fat. It wants to be thin, but I'm sorry. It's going to have to be fat. If it keeps acting this way, it starts to step fracture as it gets thinner. Noticeably, there's some noticeable step fracturing going on, which is always a bummer. But what can you do? Pick them out, yes, but there's only so much you can pick out. It terminates with little step fractures, but it's all right. That's all right. They just get worse and worse as it gets thinner and thinner. Let me see. Why do they do that? Because you're trying to shoot flakes on a non-convexity. It wants convexity. It's starting to get really flat. It's no wonder it step fractures, because there's no convexity when it starts to get thin. You guys didn't know that?
Bro, dude, stop it. You're talking to yourself now. Come on. Everybody knows that.
All right, sorry. All right. Somebody's projecting positive energy. Stoneface is projecting some positive energy. That's good. Yeah. It's not working, but it's good. Yeah, I approve, but it doesn't always work. I'm developing an island on this side too. Dang it. No wonder they make these obsidian points with concave bases, so they can get in there and get rid of them islands. See, it's not supposed to terminate like that. It's supposed to be nice and smooth. There's convexity there, but it didn't do it. Not even with convexity did it do it. Okay. It's fickle, right? That's the definition of fickle. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to get.
No, bro, you know what you're going to get because you do the same stupid stuff every time. I could predict it just by looking at you.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I end up doing the same dumb stuff every time. How about that? How about that? Is that dumb stuff or what? I took a power flake, Jesse. Yep. Right through there. Psh. Si, senor. I see it. Okay. Almost there. We're almost to the stage where I can sharpen it. I've been on mine for an hour and 12 minutes. Still got a bunch of time left. It's supposed to be a 2-hour live stream. Supposed to. Yeah. I might cut it short because I don't want to push my luck. I have to work on the symmetry now. And in the process of working on symmetry, I can probably send in a couple more flakes for thinning purposes. Okay, I gotta remember not to use the coarse abrader at this stage. The coarse abrader removes the delicate areas from the edge really fast, but it also causes a lot of little flakes. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at this stage. I do want to remove the delicate edges so I can do another pass to do the final thinning. I know I can get it a little bit thinner. There's still too much mass here and there. Right there and right there is still too much. Because we want that tapered look, right? Right. I don't know about you, but I want that tapered look. Yeah. You got to have a goal in Flintknapping, at least a little bit. Yeah. If you want to do it like they did back in the day, you got to set goals. Can't just go with the flow every time because people are going to think you're weird. Like back in the day, you just can't make anything. You go,
hey, bro, come on. The tribe's not making that point. That's the losers next door.
Yeah, shut up.
No, but come on. You gotta do it right.
Yeah, I know. People tell me that too on the internet. I gotta do it right. I gotta do it in the right way. The method is just as important as the results, is what they say. The internet tells me that the method is just as important as the results. And if the method's not right, I'm not doing it right. Even if the results are right. That's the internet way. But don't listen to internet culture. I don't listen to internet culture. No. We're almost there on the tip. Luckily, I don't have to do too much. And it's so easy to flake. My goodness. What was I napping the other... Oh, I was doing natural tool napping yesterday. No wonder I'm finding this quite easy compared to that. Natural tool napping is really quite challenging. If you like challenging hobbies, then try napping this with antler and hammerstones and leg bones. I'm trying to do too much with this pressure flaking. I'm kind of impatient. Well, I'm very impatient when it comes to pressure flaking. It drives me nuts. I try to take shortcuts when I'm pressure flaking. Hey, Ross is leaving. Ross Wellman. See you next time. Same place every night. I'm doing a live stream every night now. Hey, Tahama, I can't pronounce your name, says hi. Hello. Hello. Welcome. This is a OCD channel. Yeah. Where you get to see people or a person practice their OCD and their ADHD. Yeah, you didn't know? I should put that on the chart. Witness the ADHD. It's going to be like a freak show. Yes. Can we say that on the internet? Probably not. Probably get myself in trouble. Let's see. Let's put this down, and we're going to prepare for some very persnickety flakes. Stephen Parnell is here. Hey, how's it going, Stephen? You made it. I've only been napping for an hour and 18 minutes. Still got some time to go. Yep. I'm able to read the chat tonight because it's not going by all that fast. Right? Or no? Or maybe I'm just attempting to read it more. Or I'm not... I know what it is. I'm not heavily focused on this stuff because it's some of my favorite. I can nap without thinking about it too much. Yeah. This is some of my favorite stuff. So I don't have to think about it too much. Is it my favorite because I don't have to think about it, or I don't have to think about it because it's my favorite? That's a good question. Who thought of that question? I can't answer it. It's too good. It's probably both, right? When in doubt, just say both. Someone asked me earlier what my favorite rock is, and I said the one that doesn't break. That's my favorite. This one breaks easy, so of course I was kidding. But yeah, it helps if it doesn't break. This breaks really easily, and I don't know why it's one of my favorites. It's not my very favorite, but it's one of them. Wait a second. I didn't see this step fresher. Where'd that come from? That one right there. Where did you come from? Let's see if I can eliminate the remnants. No, not like that. Yeah, like that. Okay, so did we taper it? I think it is tapered. We have achieved taperedness. Yep. Yeah, we need to achieve taperedness down here too, but it doesn't look like I'm doing it. We got a bunch of crushing down here, so let's fix that. Yeah, I'm losing length. What did I measure it at? 5 inches or so when I started? Oh dang, look how easily that broke. That means that there was an incipient crack in there. That means I struck it a little bit too hard earlier. When I did that flake on the opposite side, it probably caused an incipient. See that big old flake there? It was a hard hit. And right where the point of impact was on the other side, it looks like there was a crack. That's the price you pay. Yeah, apparently that's the price I'm paying for that nice big old flake. Let's see. Let's see. As much as I don't like brown glass, which is probably psychological, you got me to challenge myself with it, Patrick. It does help to mentally like it. Yes, it does. Let's see. Where can I get one? Asks Emma. Emma, I have auctions every Monday. Yeah. Or you can look on Facebook. There are lots of guys selling these if you don't want to buy one from me. Look on Facebook. Do a search for arrowheads or Flintknapping. Flintknapping for sale or something like that. You can find stuff for sale. Or you go to a Knapping. Yeah. Lots of places. You'd be amazed what you can find on the internet. You can probably attend a show or a Knapping within a couple of weeks, because there's a bunch of them going on in the summertime, and you can actually see them being made, not only for sale complete, but you can see them being made. Yeah, Knappings are not just for nappers. Sometimes people go there to buy stuff. Amazing. Tyler says it's fake, and he's impressed by the fakeness. Because he says, wow. Jeffrey says hi. Yeah. We got a bunch of new people in the chat. It's a Monday. I'm surprised for a Monday. We got a bunch of people. I think because of school's out for vacation, these kiddos are up late. I need to call their moms and say, hey, what's up? What's up? They're scrolling late at night. You need to turn off the lights or something. Unplug the electricity so they can't be scrolling on their phones. It's late. Yeah, just shut off the circuits to their room. Yeah, there you go. There's no life support going on in there. If there is, you'll have to think of something else. But if there's no life support, you just shut off the electricity to their room so they can't plug in their charger. Their phone will die in like 20 minutes. Yeah. Did I ever do that? No, but I thought about it. That's why I said that. My kids would scroll on their phones late at night. I have 6 children, right? So if I take a phone away from one person, they'll just borrow someone else's. Yeah. I don't think I ever took a phone away from any of my kids. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But even if I did, they would just borrow somebody else's. Because like I said, I've got 6 children. Someone would have the kind-heartedness to lend a phone for a little while. And then it wouldn't make any good. My efforts would have been thwarted. Yeah. They turned out good though. They must have not have been scrolling on the weird side of YouTube like this. Even the neighbors are going nuts. So it's a Monday night, dudes. People got to work in the morning. Or is it a holiday tomorrow? There's usually no holidays on Tuesdays. I don't know if you could hear it, but the neighbor went, Yahoo! Let's see. Jeffrey says, why is his likes and views different on his phone? Because I'm special. You didn't know? I got them special CIA phones. Let's see. Come on. Where am I? There's my live. Yeah, see, I got the CIA phone. I got the CIA special. See, my likes and everything are up here. I can even like my own live stream. Yeah. And I can even prove infinity with my phone. You know it's a government phone when you can prove infinity. Yeah. Yeah. Who says this? Barnett says he's glad that I said something because he thought that the hooping and hollering was outside his house. No, it's the crazy neighbors. I don't know what they're up to. They're a couple houses down because my other neighbors, the neighbors that live right next to me they're out early. I mean, they go to sleep early. They got work to do in the morning. They get up at like 5 in the morning. Yeah. So it's somebody else. One of my other neighbors hooping and hollering. Okay, and it only happens on school nights. It's weird. Nothing was happening this weekend. I heard no noises. Maybe they were out of town. I'm debating whether or not to thin this further. Debating. T-Bird says, what's up, fam? Nathan says he's back. How much is a custom fishing rod? Somebody better tell him. It's funny. Dang. You don't know how much a custom fishing rod is? I mean, you've probably looked at hundreds of custom fishing rods and you don't know how much it is? Tell us how much you're willing to pay and then we'll say, wait a second, I can come up with a custom rod for that price. Yeah, tell us how much you're willing to pay. And then we'll see if we can come up with one. I'm sure someone in the chat will come up with one. Heck, they might say, hey, for that price, I'll sell you my favorite. Yeah. But if you don't tell us how much you're willing to spend, you know, you're kind of just, you know, not interesting to the conversation. 250. Wow, you're serious. Okay, well, let's see. Country Sheriff's Office. Does anybody know anybody that can help Country Sheriff's Office with a custom rod? Because this is a joke here. Yeah, I got people that ask me stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm doing, because obviously I'm not fishing. Obviously I'm not making a spear. Obviously not everything is obsidian. And obviously I'm not shopping. Okay, I'm Flintknapping. But that's some serious money on a custom rod. I'm amazed. I didn't think you'd answer that one. Let's see. Yeah, Mike says he'll cut a custom bamboo. He'll make a custom bamboo rod. No, I think the guy was actually serious. Yeah. If you're serious, I'm sorry for being such a clown and wasting your time. Yeah. But I'm thinking that people can see that I'm actually doing Flintknapping and not selling fishing rods. But you never know. I don't know. Sometimes I think I know human nature, and then someone surprises me big time. Okay, Cecil asks me, do you find your rock or do you source it? The answer to that is yes, I do both. I source it and I also find it. I get rock as gifts also. And I also buy rock from rock sellers. You missed Eric earlier. Eric's Rocks. I've purchased from Eric and many other sellers over the years. So yeah, I source it. You know, I know where I can find it for free. People give me rock as gifts, especially if it's challenging rock, to see if I can do anything with it. And all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to get rock. Let's see. What are you making it out of? This is like obsidian, okay? This is what we call black butter obsidian, although it's a dark charcoal gray and not black. It's a type of obsidian. Yeah. How do you pronounce your name? Catanel or Caton? Catton? Elms? Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yeah, this is obsidian. This particular piece, I think it's from Oregon, Glass Buttes, Oregon, where there's a lot of obsidian. I'm trying to get it as thin as possible. We call it black butter because it naps so easily. And it feels buttery. It's got this weird glossy, waxy feel to it. Somebody commented, gay? How observant are you? Let me see here. Lance says, I've been buying rocks and finding rocks down. What? Finding rocks down pat. I still haven't figured out how to get gifted rocks yet. Kaiten says, it's so cool. My son has the 12th one and he's obsessed with those times. Sometimes he'll grow to stick tie to the top and he'll run around with it. Oh, I see. He'll make little toys, I guess. I'm not sure. I couldn't read your message very clearly. Anyways, that's cool. All right, so I'm going to take 1 or 2 more flakes and then we'll sharpen this. I want to get rid of this flakeriness in the middle. See all that? I want to try to run a couple of big flakes through there. T-Bird in the Shade says, never buy a rock from a guy who wouldn't gift you at least one. That's just like what I heard. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. You know, some rock sellers have an abundance of cheap rock it's not that great. They might give you some of that just so you can practice on it. But yeah, it's a good sign when a rock seller is generous. But it's not always a good sign. A good rock seller doesn't have to be generous. He just has to know what he's doing. Yeah, and not rip you off. It's so easy to tell a new guy stuff that's not true. It might sound right. Yeah, there's some guys that get into the rock selling business part-time, temporarily. They're not really nappers. They just know how to talk to nappers and, you know, speak our language and get us all interested in stuff. Get us all interested in the stuff they're selling, and then you find out that the quality is not so great. That's the bad part. So we kind of know each other. After a while, we get to know each other. If we go to nap-ins and we communicate in chats like this, we get to know each other. And then someone who's trying to scam somebody will stand out from the crowd and will notice, hey, wait a second, this is not, something's not cool here. So that's how that works. Anyways, let's see. Lance asks me, have you ever used a beaver tooth notcher? I bought a beaver tooth and I'm going to try it to make a notching tool out of it tomorrow. Yeah, I've tried a beaver tooth notcher and the rock notched the beaver tooth. So it works pretty good. It works good if you want the beaver tooth to be notched. Is that what you mean? And no, I'm not kidding. The beaver tooth is worthless for notching. But you'll see. Don't take my word for it. It's best not to take my word for it. Because if it works for you, I want to see. Yeah. I don't want to discourage you. I want you to do it. And maybe you've figured it out. Maybe you've cracked the code on the beaver tooth. Because I couldn't. Every time I try to use a beaver tooth for anything, it ends up being part of a necklace instead. Because it's worthless. Other than a fancy decoration. And someone that sold you a beaver tooth for Flintknapping, that's a good salesman right there. Yeah. But, you know, like I said, if you can crack the code on a beaver tooth, we would all like to see that. Yeah, Lance says never buy a rock from a non-napper. Yes, that's true. So yeah, I have used a beaver tooth for napping. I've tried almost everything. Yes. Almost everything. Because I'm sure there's something that I didn't try. Heck, one day I was napping with my car keys. When I first started, I would nap with all kinds of stuff on hand. Do not nap with your car keys. The stone will nap your car keys. It won't, you know, you might get some result, but it'll mess up your key. How do I know? I don't know. Yeah, I'm reaching the end of my ability to thin this down without ruining the edge. So that's the time to quit. I succeeded in making it more non-flakery than it was before. I ran some bold flakes across, got rid of that flakeriness. Yeah, it looks better. But I ended up taking some off of here by being too greedy. I wanted to thin this tip down a little bit more, and I took too much off the edge. Anyways, yeah. Let's see what else we got in the chat. Anything else? There's some good questions. What else? Did I miss anything? Have you ever... Oops. Let me see. Have you ever moved my arrowheads out of stone? Have you ever made arrowheads out of a stone? I think that's the question. Yeah, I make arrowheads out of stone also. This is a stone. This is not obsidian. But you can make arrowheads out of this stuff too. And this is in progress right now. It's not fully completed. This here is a stone arrowhead. Right? Or did I make this out of a dish? Sometimes you can knap porcelain dishes, but I think this is a piece of stone. It just, yeah, that might confuse you. But yeah, I think this is a piece of stone here. I did knap one like this out of a porcelain dish, but I don't think this is the one. So yeah, you can make arrowheads out of stone. Where do you get the white stone like that? You get it after much pain and suffering, because it took me a while to figure out who's selling stuff like that. So I had to knap mostly cruddy looking stones when I first started. Were the obsidians expensive? They can be, yes. It depends on the type. This type of obsidian is not that expensive because it's very common. And it's difficult to knap for most people. So they normally don't spend money on this stuff. They'll spend more money on the fancy obsidian and fancy heat-treated rocks. Yeah, heat-treated. You can heat rocks so they become more glass-like. Believe it or not. It actually works. And no, you don't knap it while it's hot. You wait till it cools down. Now, I've only had one person, I think, make fun of me for that. Let's see, are we losing battery power? Yes, we're losing battery power. Hold on. I gotta wind the cord around the tripod and all that support stuff. Okay. I still have one area where I want to take a flake off. Hold on. It's taking me a lot longer than I thought. But there's been some good questions in the chat. The chat's been very chatty. Yes, is that good? I think that's good enough, right? I've tapered it and flattened it out and made it as thin as I dare to go. Let's see. T-Bird in the Shade says, may I ask you to speak more about the heat treating? Go to my community page. I just posted heat treating basics because I've been getting a lot of those questions. By coincidence, for some reason, everyone's asking me about heat treating. But hold on a second. Okay, if you go here to my channel and you go to the community, and you go to newest, I posted and pinned heat treating basics. Okay? Now, if you want me to read it now, I can read it now. All right? What it says is break up whole rocks or nodules into flakes that are no more than 1 inch thick. Heat at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 24 hours. Then ramp up the temperature 50 degrees every 30 minutes until you reach 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Hold it for 4 hours, then cool it down for at least 6 hours. Don't open the oven or whatever you're using. Just let it cool down for 6 hours before you take it out. Okay? Try chipping each and every flake. If some of the flakes chip well, put them aside. They're done. If some seem too tough, put them back in the oven or kiln, ramping up the temperature 50 degrees every 30 minutes until you reach 350 and hold for 4 hours. So 350 is 50 degrees hotter than 300. Where is it 300? Right there. And this is Fahrenheit. Remember, some guys get confused and they want to do centigrade. No, no, no. Okay? Hold that for 4 hours also. So wash, rinse, and repeat with 50-degree increments with each attempt until everything flakes well or it is ruined. Yeah. You need to know the limits of the stone. So you need to know how much is too hot for that particular stone. Now, some stones don't respond to heat. So it doesn't matter how much heat you apply, it's not going to flint knap. That's a little bit later in this description. Okay? Let's see. You wash, rinse, repeat with 50-degree increments with each attempt until everything flakes well or is ruined. Then you decide what non-ruined rock and temperatures you can live with. You'll need to experiment with each batch because there is usually variation in the stones, even though they may look exactly the same. You might also need to heat the flakes, the thin flakes, less than 1/4 inch thick. Yeah, if that produces better results. Sometimes you have to break the stone down into smaller flakes, which ticks off some people, but some people like it. They like napping little arrowheads. But sometimes that's the only way you can heat treat the stone effectively. It's rare, but sometimes that happens. It's better than throwing the rock out. All right? Experimentation is the rule. Some rocks don't respond to heat at all. Some change color. There is no reliable recipe or standard, especially if you've never heated that type of stone before. Yeah, you'll get used to the stone after a while. If you have a lot of the same type, you'll get kind of used to how it'll heat and what it will do at certain temperatures in most cases. You'll still mess some of them up, but you'll get used to what temperatures they'll mess up at, or you can see the signs, all right? Or you can hear them start to crack in the oven, and then you have to turn the heat down. If you hear cracking in the oven, turn the heat down, or just turn it off and let it cool down for 6 hours. Cracking is a bad. All right. So hopefully that answered that question. Let me go back to my live stream and see if there's any more questions. Let me see. Come on. Why isn't the chat moving? I gotta reload it. You made me mess it up. Ace Maduro, good night. Happy napping, Patrick. I look forward to seeing the custom fishing rods on the next auction. Excellent. See you later. See you later, alligator. So, T-Bird in the Shade says, so I'm guessing that the initial 200 degrees for 24 hours is a safety measure to boil off any moisture with them. Yes, that's correct. I'm wondering if you could speed up the process. Yeah, technically you'd only need an hour in the heat at the certain temperature. Like at 300 degrees, you only need an hour in the heat. Also, if you have a dehydrator, you might be able to dehydrate the stones faster than 24 hours. I have a dehydrator for dehydrating food, and I think the rocks, as long as you break them into flakes, I think they can be dehydrated in 12 hours rather than 24. You can try a dehydrator to speed up the process, and then you can heat the stones for an hour instead of 4 hours and see how that works. And then cool it down for maybe a little bit less than 6 hours. As long as the stones are 200 degrees or less when you take them out of the oven, you'll be okay. They can still be kind of hot to the touch, just as long as they're not really hot. Like if over 200 degrees, you got to wait until they're less than 200 degrees to take them out. Hey, the Feathered Frontiersman is here. I put a thin piece of Brazilian agate in my boss's convection oven once. It overcooked it and it became crumbly and brittle. Yeah. Many such cases. T-Bird says, I really appreciate you going over that. Oh, you're welcome. I've just had a lot of questions on it, so I think that you're not the only one that has a question on that. So yeah, it's good. Let's see here. Let's see. Lance is talking about some of the turkey roasters that go up to a high heat. Yeah, don't heat treat obsidian. You can, but it's not going to do anything. It'll stay obsidian. It won't get ruined. I think in order to ruin obsidian, you got to be up over 1,000 degrees. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah, the arrow point looks like it was stamped out of plastic from a distance. So well done. Well, thank you very much. Let's see. So Lance says he saw Marty Reader using one, so I bought one to try. I see. Well, try it and show us, because every time I've tried a beaver tooth, the stone napped the tooth and not the other way around. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and try it. Okay. So I'm going to be finishing up this arrowhead. I've already thinned it. Or maybe I'll just call it quits. I've only got 8 minutes. I could just put in a few notches. What should I do for notching? Put in notches and not sharpen it yet. I'll just sharpen it off camera. Something like this could be made into an Elko point. That's like the easiest, because I can keep the full width, right? I don't look in the book. Let's waste some time and look in the book. Because we look at books on this channel, we don't always ask Google or ask Siri or whatever. We're going to go to the Far West section of the book. And before you ask what the book is, here it is. Overstreet Identification and Price Guide to Indian Arrowheads. 13th edition, but it's up to the 16th edition, I think. Don't spend more than $40 on it. No. If you have to buy the 12th edition, do it. Danny Collins, Lithics and Leather, has it on his website. Flintknappingtraditions.com has a good price on the 12th edition. Anyway, let's look for some arrowheads made of obsidian that are big. Ooh, this is good. Oh, this is Jasper. Let's see.
Hey, dude, you know what? You can make a Clovis. Clovis. Let's all chant Clovis. Clovis, Clovis, Clovis.
No, not Clovis. You better shut up. Let's see. No. Northwestern 4-way knife. You could do one of those. See, I just have to trim it down a little bit. Make a 4-way knife. Yeah, and then it will be done. Why do they call it a 4-way knife? It's got 4 edges. See, this is what I usually make, the northern side notch, because it has that teardrop shape. I just gotta put that little concavity in the base. It's one of my favorite ones to make out of obsidian. This northern side notch. They come in all sizes, from huge like this to small like this, so to speak. See, all the way down to this size. And it's still called a northern side notched. See, it's pages and pages of northern side notch. Let's see. Lord of the Gooners says, nice book. I know it's a nice book. Except the way I treat it like it's my enemy or something, because it's getting pretty beat up. But anyway, yeah, it's a nice book. I recommend it to everybody. I even call it the Oracle. Let's see, what about this? These are all actual size too, I forgot to mention. That's why I can do this. I can put it next to one of these and say, okay, I've got enough room for one of these. Because these are all actual size. Well, 99% of these in the book are actual size. The only thing bad about it is it doesn't show the side views, so we don't know how thick these are. What am I going to make? I've already seen the northern side notch. I can make one of these, the Humboldts. But some of these have flaking that's really fancy. All I'm going to do is put that stem on it with the concavity. I can make this into a Humboldt without the fancy notch, without the fancy flaking. Anyways, I'm getting a little impatient looking through the book. Yeah, and there are some like this too. Great big huge ones out of obsidian. See, this one is a mahogany obsidian. Try to do that with natural tools. That takes some patience. How do I know they did not have copper? I don't know they did not have copper. I'm just guessing. They may have been able to thin those down with little pieces of copper. See, this is what I'm thinking. I can make an Elko, one of these. The Elko eared types. Oh, Elko corner notch, because I've got plenty of room for that one. They come in all sizes too. These Elkos come in all sizes. And I can preserve the width. I don't have to take down the width on the ends. On the bottom part. I don't have to take the corners off. I can notch it kind of from the base and keep long barbs on it. Lord of the Gooners, thanks for the info, Jack. I screenshot it for future references. Awesome. Good, good, good. Okay, so I'm just going to do an Elko. Yeah. Yes, yes. Here we go. I got 2 minutes. There's supposed to be a 2-hour live stream. I started a little bit late. My timer says it's been 1 hour and 58 minutes. But maybe I'll stay longer. This is my notching tool. Oh yes. I got tools for everything. Let's see, corner notch. I'm still going to take the sides down a little bit. Let me take the sides down a little bit first. I'm going to use 2 gloves because I always get little flakes between my fingers and the knapping tools. Let's straighten out the sides a little bit before I put the notches in, because the barbs are difficult to sharpen once I get them put in place. They're difficult to do this with a barb on it because the barb sometimes breaks off. Yeah, sometimes. You can pretty much count on it if it's really thin. You count on the barb breaking off if you wait till the end to sharpen. So I'm going to sharpen these to begin with, and then I'll notch it. Okay. This process doesn't take all that long, especially with obsidian. I don't have to use much force or grind it, spend time grinding it a lot. It grinds down quickly and it requires relatively little force. This is just the basic sharpening technique. There are different ways to sharpen. This just thins down the edge and also puts in a little bit of a sawtooth effect. Which is perfectly okay for basic sharpening. Nothing fancy. A lot of flakes close together. Don't try to drive the flakes too far at this stage, especially if you don't want to mess up your flake pattern. You don't want to be driving these pressure flakes in too far. Losing my voice. Oh no. I'm going to have to stop talking. Dang. Everyone will get upset. Yeah, in case you guys missed the heat treating explanation, I posted it in the community. I pinned it so that if you have questions about heat treating, I'm giving you the basics. It's a short explanation. You can actually write a lot more on heat treating, especially if you want to go into that rabbit hole of the recipes that people have come up with for different kinds of stone. You know, how much heat for how long, with what kind of rocks. But I'm not going to go into that kind of detail. I'll go into some detail just to get you started. Okay. The key is to experiment with the rock you have. Why is this taking me a long time? Because it's not getting sharp to my satisfaction. It's got to have my stamp of approval on the edge. It still doesn't get my stamp of approval. So there. Take that. Okay, so let's get these notches started. And they're not going to be narrow notches. We don't need no stinking narrow notches. Cloves or Clovis? Yeah, Clovis. No one talks about cloves on this channel. Liam Haggard says hello, hello, hello. Hey, Blunt Axe is here. Let's see. Noah Merritt is here. Did I see you earlier? Christian Good. Let's see. Gloves. Okay, are we talking about cloves, Clovis, or gloves? I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to get back to this so I can finish this up. Right? Right. Good, good. Fantastic, fantastic. The Elko has a concave base, doesn't it? So we got to nap in that concavity. Yes, yeah. I'm not watching. I already know it's messed up, that's why. If it's just downward flakes, I don't need to watch every single flake as it is produced. Yeah, I need some water. I'm getting dehydrated or something. Okay, so I think we have the basic shape to create the Elko. I can start driving in the notches. Just drive them straight in. Yeah. That's the idea. Just crunch them in. Easy peasy. Obsidian is one of the easiest things to notch, but it's also one of the easiest things to mess up when you're notching. Why is it easy to mess up? Because you can easily blow off a barb, like you can easily just snap that right off by mistake, or blow out one of the ears on the on the stem. In other words, you can nap away too much by accident. In case you're new and don't know, which there seems to be a lot of that going around. A lot of new people who don't know. It kind of looks easy, yeah. After you gain some experience, and you watch someone with experience, it kind of looks easy. I have it out here so I can make sure it's in focus, but it's usually I have it closer in like this when I'm doing these notches. Why does that make a difference? It's more controllable when you're further down this way. Out here it's kind of loosey-goosey, so to speak. Let's see, what am I looking for? Yeah, I gotta sharpen my flaker because it starts to develop a burr, and that's not good. It widens out the the thickness, which makes it harder to produce a flake when this is too thick. That's the issue with natural tools. The tools are usually too thick to do what you want, because they have to be thick in order not to break. Okay. Oops. Yeah, like that. You gotta be able to push flakes off like that. When it gets too thick, it doesn't do that. Yeah, nice flakes. Yep, just a little bit further, I guess. Just a little bit. Yeah, nice. See, we try to get those kind of flakes with stone also, but it's not as easy as it is with obsidian. It's much easier to get those nice pop-outs with obsidian. Yeah, that's the secret. Is that the secret? Maybe the beaver tooth can be used on obsidian? You got to see where the beaver tooth was being used. What kind of material was being used. It makes a difference. Alright, so now we do the other side. That one was relatively smooth sailing, relatively speaking. I gotta make sure I don't go too fast on this one, because that's what can mess things up if you start going too fast. I've already done one. Come on. I've done one side, so it seems like this will be easier, so I tend to go faster, but it can I am going a little bit faster, but I gotta be careful. Okay. This side seems to be a little thick. I might have messed up the symmetry somewhat, but this little tip of the barb, tip of the ear looked a little bit too thick, so I reduced it, hopefully not too much. I don't want to do it later, because the ears are going to be very delicate later. And you know what that means? If you nap something delicate, the chances of breaking are very high. Okay. I'm not showing the flakes, but I think you got the idea last time. Sometimes they're big flakes, sometimes they're little bitty flakes. Like when I'm just shaping the edges, it's just little bitty crud flakes. And then I'll punch out a big flake. Or I'll press out a big flake. Like that. And then crunch out a bunch of small ones before I flip it over. Just a bunch of little crud flakes. And then flip it over and punch out a good one. Yeah, like that. Make sure it doesn't mess things up, because it can wrap around and take something off. Yeah, it can wrap around and remove an ear or a barb. This is an ear, that's a barb. When you push really hard, sometimes it'll take off too much. What's the solution to that? Don't push as hard. Yeah, just use the minimum amount of force required. Minimum. Overkill is not a good thing in flint knapping. It's a good thing in other things, but not in flint knapping. Starting to create a burr on the end of my tool, so I gotta take that off. Especially as I go further down in the notch. Okay, let's see. Yeah, nice. Crunch and munch, and turn it over and pop one out. And if the edges are too thick, take this time to thin down the edges. And let's see, pop out another flake. That one kind of shattered. That's okay. As long as the edge stays thin down at the bottom of the notch, that means you're still able to pop out a flake. If it starts to get really thick down at the bottom, that means you've stalled it. And it requires a lot more pressure to get that flake to go. And then a lot more pressure means you can snap it right across. Yeah. That one kind of shattered too, but it was still effective. I'm kind of worried that it's shattering a lot, but I should be able to get a nice pop out without all that shattering. But it doesn't matter. If it whatever works, works. If it works, it works. I just like to get a nice pop out like that, because it makes it look pretty. Yeah. Okay, so one more pop out on each side. That might work. In the book, the barbs look more skinny, right? That means I gotta take some off the sides here. But we're just gonna leave it. Even though the book has the barbs that are more skinny, I'm just gonna leave it that way. I'm gonna put a concavity in the base and call it good. And the only thing I need to do off camera is sharpen it. Yeah. Which is pretty tedious anyway. A lot of people don't tune in, or they don't stay tuned in to see that. All right, so a little bit more on this side. I want a nice pop out, like, see that? I like that roundish pop out look. Yeah, like that. And then we're done. Right? I could leave it sharp down in there, but no. Let's see. I think the sides of this side of the notch, I think, is slightly curved. On the Elcos. I don't think it's straight. So I'm just using the corner of the flaker to kind of make the bottom of that notch more concave. And then I'm going to put a concavity in the base. And then we'll be done. Because I'm tired. I am getting tired. It's not past my bedtime like it is past some of your guys' bedtime. The little kids are still there. I don't think they are. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not making a side notch on this one. I missed a bunch of chat. Where am I? Luciano says hi. So someone asked about Clovis being a period of time, asks T-Bird. I think it refers to a type of point named for its shape, but it could be for the guy who named it anyway. It's a type of point. Yeah, Clovis is a type of point. It's named after a city where the site, where the first verified site was found. It's like saying Cahokia. It's named after the site where it was originally found. And it's a technology as far as the hafting goes. There are many blade variations on the Clovis, but the Clovis is defined by the fluting or the type of thinning on the base. The overall shape, yes, also lanceolate, but there were many lanceolate points, not just Clovis, around the same time. And you can go down a Clovis rabbit hole, which I don't want to go down. No. What is the Clovis rabbit hole? People think the Clovis was the first culture in the Americas. And no, it's been proven not to be. That's all I'm going to say. Because it's a rabbit hole. See what that does. See, Clovis does this type of thinning flake. But if it's long, they call it a flute. I call it a thinning flake. That's all. That's all it is. It's just a big thinning flake on Clovis. Nothing special. Some Clovises were not even fluted, okay? So don't get all excited. How is it a Clovis if it's not even fluted? Well, if it's found with other fluted points, then they know it's also a Clovis. They just didn't flute it because they weren't in the mood. They weren't in the mood to flute it. All right, all right. Are we done yet? Are we there yet? I guess, I don't know. We can call it good at any time now. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to look in the book one more time to see if I'm on track. Let's put another little pop out on this side. Just for grins and giggles. Yeah, like that. Is that an effective point style? I think it is. I think these Elcos were very effective. Yeah. I sold all my foreshafts. What am I going to use? Woe is me. I still got tons though, right? Still got bunches. Oh yes, I did not sell them all. I still got some. There goes. Dang, it's a big Elco. It's too big for the biggest foreshaft that I got. It's too big for even this. Look at that. I needed one that's wider and thicker and longer. Yeah. I'm just down to my smaller ones. So I need to make some bigger ones. Anyway, but you know, you get the idea. It fits, which means it's thin enough. I need a bigger, either a foreshaft that's got a larger tip or one that's thicker around. Yeah. But it can also be a knife. I sold all my knife handles, so I can't demonstrate with that. You know, I could put it in a knife handle. It would look nice in a knife handle for sure. Okay. That's it. We're done. I'm going to sharpen it off camera. And I'll probably put a constriction on the sides here so these barbs can be more skinny. You know, put a concavity down in here a little bit. Make those barbs a little more skinny. Okay. We can get rid of that. Yeah. We've got new comments. Stoneface says that's a sweet one. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Slots with Dylan says hi. You almost missed the live stream. Where do I get my obsidian? From various places. From friends of mine that sell obsidian. From rock sellers that I am acquainted with that sell good quality obsidian. I also get obsidian as gifts, and I also sometimes If I am lucky enough to go to a rock shop that has good quality obsidian, I might buy from there. But they usually sell obsidian for decoration and not for arrowheads. So around here, they don't have rock shops like that. When I was living in Texas, they did, but here they don't. I had to go to a bigger city to get to a rock shop that sells obsidian. But anyway, there's many places. You can go on Facebook and eBay. Etsy is actually a good place to find obsidian to buy. Etsy. But I would recommend going to a Knapping. That's another place where I get my obsidian. Buy it from sellers at Knappings. Okay, and you can get it in rock form. You can get it in cut slabs, or you can get them as flakes. You can get pieces of obsidian as flakes like this. You can also go to Glass Buttes in Oregon. So the answer to that question is very long. I've only maybe given you half of the information you would need. Okay? Alright. Yeah, this is an Elko point. We can look it up again and make sure I'm in range. Let's see. What's the book? Ta-da! For those of you who just came into the live stream, it's already been going on for a couple hours. I've shown the book before, but yeah, it's Official Overstreet Identification and Price Guide to Indian Arrowheads. 13th edition. It's up to the 16th edition, but you should get the 12th edition and do not spend more than $40. Do not. There are scams running on this particular book. And I don't know why they pick on flint knappers, but they do. Do not spend lots of money on this book. Okay. So I'm trying for an Elko. These are Elkos. Where is the other one? There we go. See, these are Elko points. Mine's pretty big compared to these. But I tried to get the base similar. See how it's what they call concave. This one isn't, so I guess it varies. But I think most of these bases are expanding stems, right, with a concavity like this. This one looks like there's a convexity on both sides. I'm not sure how common that style is. This one also. So there's different styles, I guess, on the base. This one has a concavity on both sides. This one does slightly also. Anyway, see how skinny these barbs are? I gotta constrict the sides. If I want to make the barb skinny, I've got to remove a lot of material from the sides. See that? But I don't want to. I want to do this. I didn't do that. I didn't do that style though. This is more of a basil notched instead of a corner. I did a corner notch. Okay? Alright. That's one of my favorites to do with obsidian. These are all obsidian points. That's why. Okay. And they're all at little dart points. Well, not all, but most of them are at little dart points. I imagine the bigger ones are knives. Like this one would be a knife, I would imagine. Yeah. Why would you use something so delicate like this for a knife? Well, it's probably said too often, but I'm learning that there's a lot of ceremonies involved with knives. So you can make a ceremonial knife and use it as a ceremonial item. Especially if it's well knapped. Yeah. So that's what I would probably use something like that for. Really, really thin. It's not good for too much because it's not rugged. It's just probably good for ceremony. Yeah. All right. So what do we got in the chat? Have you been to Glass Buttes, Oregon? No, I have not, but I have friends that have, and they are going every year. I've got one friend named Ben that's going up this month. I'm pretty sure he's almost there, or he's on his way, or something like that. I don't want to go in the middle of summer if I ever do go. But yeah, I got friends that go to Glass Buttes. I'll buy some stuff off of them, and they'll also give me some stuff. Yep, yep. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking for questions. Oh, yes. Is it bad I read napper? Instead of napper, I read kidnapper. You read kidnapper, Jack Crafty? Dang. I would have been kicked off of YouTube a long time ago. Let me see. Mango Slayer says good night. Yeah, I'm going to cut it short. Well, no, it's been 2 hours and 31 minutes. Oh, dang. I thought I was going to cut it short, but it's already 30 minutes past my normal time. It's supposed to be a 2-hour live stream. Okay, so I'm going to call it a night. I'm just looking for questions. Yeah, people are asking, where do I get the obsidian? The best place to get obsidian is at Knapping's, I'm sorry. If you're allergic to people, then get your obsidian off of Facebook or Etsy or something like that. And ask around to see which rock sellers know what they're doing. How much does the stone cost that you use? The stones that I use, they cost between $4 and $5 a pound. But you can get stone cheaper than that sometimes. Stone used to cost about $1.50 to $2 a pound 10 years ago, but now the prices have doubled at least. Yeah, they've doubled since 10 years ago. So the best bet is to get stones for free, especially flakes. Sometimes the nappers will just throw these away, and you can practice on these. Yeah, a lot of nappers, they'll actually throw these little flakes away, and they're still good. I save these and give them to nappers at Knapping's when they ask for flakes. I'll give these away for them to practice on for free. But you got to go to a Knapping or have a friend that'll save flakes for you. If that's what you want. If you want big, huge, gigantic chunks, get in line because everybody wants big, huge, gigantic chunks for cheap. Get in line. It's a very long line. It goes around the corner, around the block, and around the city. Mike Mason says, it's been a great stream, Patrick. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Dandy says it's cost chicken. I never heard that expression. Noah Merritt says, I hear you. I'll just wait until next time I teach a group and order some rocks. I'll talk to them. Nice. Hey, Pete Peterson was here. You were lurking. I didn't see you. Yeah, good night, everybody. I'm going to end the stream here in a minute or two. I think I answered the questions, the last minute questions. Right? Prince John Paul says, nobody knows the arrowhead was inspired from the shark's tooth. That was the first tool for cutting and stabbing. Nobody knows that? I've heard that before. I don't know how true it is, but I've heard that. You know, if you look at a pile of flakes, some of them are pointy. And you can put some on sticks, just like this. You don't need to look at no stinking shark tooth. You can just look at flakes. These are just naturally occurring after breaking rocks. And I suppose sometimes they were just breaking rocks for the fun of it because they broke so easy. And they go, wait a second, I can cut open stuff with these things. And if I put them on sticks, I can throw them at the dumb rabbits that are eating the plants that I'm supposed to be eating. Yeah, so, you know, you just look through a pile of flakes and you can kind of see, hey, look at that. I can make something pointy and poke someone's eye out. Yeah. There you go, see? This is a ready-made knife. It has a dull area, kind of, sort of, on the back, but a very sharp area on the front. And it works better if it's pointy on one end, so you can get in there and cut delicately. Take bones out of the fish or whatever. You don't even need to know what sharks are. Yeah. And wait a second. There's something else that you can make arrowheads out of rather than shark's teeth. Where is it? Don't tell me I misplaced it. Here we go. Yes, I found it. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to show you something here that is a natural thing that looks like an arrowhead, but it has not been modified at all. It's straight from the animal. It's called an alligator gar scale. These are fish scales from alligator gar. Not modified at all. These are straight from the fish. They've been cleaned, yes, but they're made of enamel. They can be used as arrowheads, and they were used as arrowheads. That one weighs 12 grains, and that one's 14 grains, in case you're wondering what those numbers are. Those are numbers in grains. 14 grains and 12 grains. These can be used as arrowheads, and they get bigger than this. Yeah, you can find them bigger than this on big alligator gar. Okay, so we don't even need to know what a shark is. These work just like this as arrowheads. No modification whatsoever. Okay? What is all this? This is a design from, it's in that book. It's from the Northwest United States. It's carved in bone. This is an actual size of an arrowhead type made of bone. These are all bone as well. I think this is cow bone. I'm not done with this one yet. I'm not done with these either. These are deer bone. And this is cow bone. This fits into the end of a reed or cane, like river cane. Alright. But you can also taper that tang so it's just a tanged arrowhead. Anyways, I found these today and I wanted to demonstrate that. And perfect example. You don't need to... I mean, I'm not saying the shark's tooth were not an inspiration, but there are other things in nature that can inspire the arrowhead shape. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there are other things also. Okay. Oregon beaver tooth arrowheads? I don't think so. Okay. That's it. I'm going to say good night. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.